From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Afternoon Edition.
And right now on the Afternoon Edition, former President Donald Trump is expected in federal court where he will be formally charged. We look at the arguments from his own defense team.
Plus, we're following a hazardous materials investigation here at home that has had a neighborhood evacuated for the better part of a day now. Good afternoon. I'm Elizabeth Cook.
And I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Mandatory evacuation orders are still in place after that hazardous material incident in San Pablo. People were out of their homes all night long.
Yeah, it's been a mess. Everyone in a 6-block radius was evacuated, including part of Giant Highway, Minor Avenue, 11th Street, and Palmer Avenue. We are expecting an update from Contra Costa County Fire any minute now, and we'll bring you that when it begins. In the meantime, our Justin Andrews had more on what crews are dealing with out there.
And crews have to move very methodically with this one because obviously they're dealing with a lot of chemicals, and some of those chemicals are still unknown at this hour. That's why we still have crews right here on this block trying to uncover exactly what those materials were that they found inside that backyard shed. The goal is to make sure people are back in their homes by the end of the day today, but that depends on the progress these hazmat crews and teams can make because they're talking about hundreds of boxes and several of those chemicals, according to authorities. In the last several hours, authorities told us the homeowner had passed away a while ago. We're talking maybe a couple months ago. And his brother was cleaning the property and found materials in that backyard shed on Stanton Avenue here. Not just a few chemicals, we're talking hundreds of them. The brother instantly called emergency crews. Hazmat teams arrived and they were swift in labeling this a major hazmat incident on yesterday. But they don't know exactly what all the chemicals are that they found. They did say there are some explosive chemicals and some are light and motion sensitive. So moving methodically is key with this. We interviewed crews out here. They believe the chemicals may have been inside that shed for years.
The crews have to move methodically. They have to move slowly because they do not know, and a lot of the containers weren't labeled. So they don't know exactly what they're working with. The material, due to its very nature, what we consider explosive could just be a chemical reaction.
So right now, crews are still working to figure out exactly what those chemicals are. They will probably be out here for a majority of the day as they uncover what those chemicals are. They still have to get those chemicals, test them, and then remove them from this neighborhood. So this could be a lengthy process. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Justin. And again, we are expecting a live update from Contra Costa Fire from the scene in San Pablo. You can see they're all set up and we've got the microphones ready to go. We're just waiting for them to speak. We'll bring that to you once they begin, although it looks like they're coming to the microphones right now. Can we stay with them and let's listen in?
Are you ready to start? We'll start whenever you're ready. We'll do that. Okay. So everybody will do that, right? Tell me when you're ready, we'll go.
Ready.
Everybody ready? Thumbs up? Okay. All right, good afternoon. I am John Gioia, John-Gioia. I'm the chair of the Contra Costa County Board of Supervisors. I'm also chair of the Contra Costa County Fire District, and I'm also the county supervisor who represents this area. And I'm here today with other representatives from our first responders, and I want to start by saying that the whole response here has really been a cooperative effort of a number of local agencies, including Contra Costa County Fire, Richmond Fire, Contra Costa County Hazardous Materials, which is part of our health department. The Walnut Creek Bomb Squad is here, the City of San Pablo Police Department, and the FBI bomb squad is now on scene, and you'll hear more about that. And I think really the whole response here has been about really first protecting public safety, which is why there was an evacuation zone yesterday, and you'll be hearing today that the evacuation zone is going to be reduced in size this afternoon, and that we're working also with the Red Cross, where individuals who've chosen to go to the gym in Contra Costa to stay overnight or seek any help from the Red Cross individuals can go there. The whole effort has been to really address the unsafe and explosive chemicals that are on scene at the house, and to protect public safety, and to do it in a way which gets residents safely back into their homes in this community. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Captain Toller of Contra Costa County Fire, and then you'll hear also from the San Pablo Police Department.
Thank you, Supervisor Joya. My first name is Chris, C-H-R-I-S. Last name is Toller, T-O-L-E-R, and I'm a captain with Contra Costa County Fire Protection District. Just a brief update and a recap. Yesterday morning, approximately 10:30, we received a call of a gas leak. Once we got on scene, we discovered that we had a major hazardous materials incident. We started calling in appropriate resources to mitigate that incident. And you see us now, we have multiple agencies on scene to assist us in that effort. So with that, if you have any more additional questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions.
We've got a lot of different agencies on scene here.
Yes.
How much of this maybe was informed by what happened in Los Angeles last year, where we saw something similar turn explosive and actually damage property nearby?
I can't speak to what the other agencies and their policies, protocols, and response matrix, but for Contra Costa County, our response for a major hazardous materials incident is just what you see here.
What were the chemicals and materials that were found in what quantities?
We don't know the quantities. We don't know the exact types. We don't know the exact names of all the chemicals that were found. We know that they span all classes of hazardous materials in various quantities, in various improper containers and boxes. We don't know the exact time as to how long they've been in the storage shed. Yes.
What exactly you guys are doing right now?
Right now, the bomb techs and the hazmat techs are testing to find out exactly and trying to identify exactly the products that they have on scene. With that, they have to contain them, stabilize and contain, transport, and properly dispose of those items.
And where all the family, they're not home or they're actually at the community college?
Most of the families in the evacuation zone, we don't know exactly where they are, but we do have Contra Costa College gym set up. Red Cross is there to receive them if they're affected by the evacuation. We want to express to them that we really appreciate their patience. We're trying the best we can to get them back in their homes. As Supervisor Joya just stated, we are going to shrink the evacuation zone here pretty soon, and we're also going to provide police escort during our downtime to residents on John and Stanton. Under police escort, we're going to go ahead and allow them to get some vital items and some important items out of their homes. Yes.
How much material has been removed so far?
I don't know how much material has been removed as far as percentages of what was in the storage shed. We do know that some have been removed, but we don't want to give a number because that could change. It could change between the start of this press conference and now. So, but we are probably a little less than halfway done with the materials moved in that storage shed.
And the materials being taken where?
To a proper disposal site.
The initial call was for a gas leak. Was there actually a gas leak, or was it just an odor that came from that?
It was an odor of gas.
And can you tell us more about the people that live in that house?
We don't know. We're still trying to identify the individual that lived in the home. We know that he passed away approximately 6 months ago, and that's from unofficial sources from his neighbors. We do know that his brother, who has been on scene, he's been assisting us in trying to give us some information. We don't have the owner. We do have the brother of the owner. He was the one that was attempting to remove and or clean up the property, and that's what initiated the call.
The brother who lived here who passed, he was the owner or he was a tenant?
The individual that owned has passed away. His brother was on scene moving the product, moving and trying to clean up the property, and with that, he was advised to give 911 a call because there was a strange odor.
Do we know, and I know it's still a little investigative, but the person who died, was it due to the chemicals that were there, or is that still going to be determined?
It was approximately 6 months ago, and I can't speak to that. That's unconfirmed.
Did the brother, was it just, did he have any other reaction besides smelling something? Did he look dizzy? Did he?
I don't know that this time.
Can you talk at all about the background of this guy who died?
I can't officially speak to that. We've had conflicting reports as to who he is.
Can you talk about what kind of chemicals these are and why you have to have this response, and I guess what the danger is with all this?
The types of hazardous materials are extensive, really, to put it plainly. They range up and down our classes of what we consider hazardous materials: explosives, flammables, oxidizers, things of that nature. The reason we have to be so careful and methodical,
And you've been listening to an update from San Pablo. That's with Contra Costa Fire and that hazmat situation happening in that one neighborhood. What has happened here? Homeowner had passed away. His brother was cleaning out the home and discovered an odor and called authorities. So now multiple agencies on the scene. The FBI bomb squad is now part of this investigation. Unsafe explosive chemicals found at the house. The span of all classes, and hazardous materials. They do have bomb techs right now. They're testing to figure out what exactly they're dealing with. And they have about half of it now cleared out.
Yeah, they were talking about how it's different materials, some of them very, very hazardous, some of them less so. They're still trying to figure out what exactly was in this shed. As Ryan mentioned, the brother of the owner of the home who passed away about 6 months ago was cleaning up and found some of this hazardous materials when he was attempting to dispose of it, smelled gas, called 911, and this is how it all ensued. Now, there has been a 6-block radius around this home evacuated for the past 24 hours. The good news is today they're planning on shrinking that evacuation zone, and they're going to allow some folks who live in the area to go back to their homes to escort them just to collect some items, but they will still be evacuated, of course. We're going to keep an eye on this and let you know how many evacuees can return to their homes and the latest on their cleanup efforts. Meantime, this was a scene in San Jose this morning where a construction crew hit a 2-inch gas line under concrete, causing a gas leak. This was on Chapman Street near Park Avenue and 880. A few homes were evacuated and the area was closed off while PG&E crews worked to get that leak under control. Fire crews are also on standby at the scene.
Now to the other big story developing in Washington, D.C., where former President Donald Trump just arrived in D.C., expected to make his first court appearance surrounding his actions to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
Nicole D'Antonio is at the federal courthouse with the very latest.
Former President Donald Trump left his New Jersey golf course headed to Washington, D.C., where he is set to be arraigned this afternoon.
Charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding.
Demonstrators gathered outside the courthouse where security is high. Trump is expected to plead not guilty to the charges, and the judge may impose travel restrictions.
And we may get some indication from the judge, some admonitions to Trump not to pollute the jury pool, not to have incendiary statements.
Trump posted on social media that he believes he can't receive a fair trial in Washington, D.C. He says he'll push to move the case to a more Trump-friendly state, such as West Virginia.
Can you find 12 jurors who swear to tell the truth and will uphold their duty? They clearly can do that in D.C.
When the case goes to trial, Trump's lawyers plan to argue that his false claims about the election were not criminal.
This is the first time that political speech has been criminalized in the history of the United States.
They also plan to argue that Trump was just listening to his attorneys like Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and John Eastman. CBS News has learned they are likely some of the 6 co-conspirators cited in the indictment, but they have not been charged.
Now, CBS News will have special coverage of Mr. Trump's arraignment this afternoon. That special coverage will happen any moment now. Meanwhile, we understand he has sent out fundraising materials to supporters asking for their help in fighting these charges.